From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Good morning, Mid-Michigan. Are waking up with temperatures into the 40s, warming up just a little bit, still a little bit chilly out there. 37 degrees in Jackson, 36 in Hillsdale, 40 in Mason, 36 in Charlotte, and 39 degrees here in Lansing. We're seeing clear skies across the area, and we're going to continue to see clear skies over the next 12 hours with mostly sunny skies and temperatures right around average. I'll have a full look at the forecast coming up in just a little bit. 6 News This Morning starts right now.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News This Morning.
Good morning, Mid-Michigan. Thank you for waking up with us. It's Saturday, October 26th. I'm Karina Prieto, and we're here for you now with this morning's top stories. After months of stump speeches, rallies, and debates, the polls are finally open for most people in Mid-Michigan. It's part of a relatively new process of in-person early voting, and it gives you the option to skip the line on Election Day and the peace of mind of watching your ballot go through a tabulator. To find your closest polling location, you'll want to go to the Michigan Voter Information homepage. The link for that is at the bottom of your screen right now. There, you'll see a link called Where Can I Vote Early? Once you plug in your address, it will give you your closest polling location and their hours. Some in-person voting locations have already been open for a week in parts of the state, including MSU's campus. But most local election officials have been waiting until today to make sure they have enough staff to handle the demand. The first day of early in-person voting for most of the state will draw both of the major candidates to Michigan later today to help drive up voter turnout. Yesterday, both candidates spoke to Texas voters about abortion rights and immigration.
The elected leaders of Texas, a lot of them, have made Texas ground zero in this fundamental fight for the freedom of women to make decisions about their own body.
Over the past 4 years, this state has become Kamala's staging ground to import her army of migrant gangs and illegal alien criminals into every state.
Trump was set to speak in Traverse City yesterday evening, but he had to delay his visit by more than 3 hours after his interview with popular podcast host Joe Rogan ran long. About half of that crowd decided to go home early, and when the former president did take the stage, he spoke about the situation in the Middle East, the comparisons to him as a dictator, and furthered his claims that he won the 2020 election. The former president will stay in Michigan tomorrow for an appearance about an hour east in Novi, Michigan. That rally will be at Suburban Snow Place, and it will start at noon. On the other side of the ticket, former First Lady Michelle Obama will join VP Harris today for Get Out the Vote rallies in Kalamazoo and Detroit. And we've just learned that Harris and her running mate Tim Walz will appear together for an event in Ann Arbor on Monday. No details have been released. We take Wall Street, where the market snapped a 6-week winning streak and ended the week in the red. But there's also some promising news, including a new study that shows why there could be more gifts under the tree this year. Christine Lazar explains this in this Eye on Consumer report.
Americans are expected to spend a record amount this holiday season. The National Retail Federation predicts the average person will shell out $902 for gifts, food, decorations, and other seasonal items. Another survey from Gallup predicts each American will spend a little over $1,000 on average. The IRS says tax bracket thresholds for 2025 are going up 2.8%. That's the smallest jump in several years because inflation has cooled. The increase may allow some people to drop into a lower tax bracket. The IRS is also boosting the standard deduction, which could give some Americans a larger tax break. The Federal Trade Commission is cracking down on fake online reviews. The agency is banning reviews and testimonials from artificial intelligence or people who don't exist. The new rule also covers reviews from people who don't have any experience with the service or product. The FTC can penalize companies that violate the ban. And those are some of this week's top consumer stories. I'm Christine Lazar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Back here in mid-Michigan, it was a busy day of activism, and groups protested around the November Board of Trustees meeting. That included members of the Union of Non-Tenure Track Faculty and the Union of Tenure System Faculty. They rallied for union recognition at the Hanna Administration Building. The unions say they are joining forces to speak out against what they call the undemocratic actions of rogue MSU administrators, the Office of Employee Relations, and the Office of the Provost. And in other parts of campus, 5 of the 40 students representing the Haria Coalition staged a walkout of the MSU Board of Trustees meeting and were later arrested. They held a sit-in at the Hanna Administration Building with a list of demands, including putting a divestment back on the table and develop an appropriate timeline for divesting entirely from weapons manufacturers and the State of Israel. We know the main thing on everyone's mind today is game day. It will be the 117th time that Michigan State and University of Michigan have faced off in one of the most well-known rivalries in American sports. The battle for the Paul Bunyan Trophy has become the stuff of legend over the years, and Michigan leads the series with 73 wins compared to State's 38. But this year, State has a good chance to add a win to that total, as both teams have come into the matchup with the same record, and players will be leaving it all on the field in the Big House. We turn it now to Kelsey Emery for the game day forecast.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Well, the sun is now just starting to rise. Those sunrise times are getting later and later until we hit that daylight savings time. But beautiful skies right now, and we're going to continue to see beautiful conditions for the day today and throughout the weekend. Temperatures right now are into the 40s in some spots, but still into the upper 30s, 37 in Jackson, 36 in Hillsdale, and we're looking at 40 degrees in Mason, 36 in Charlotte, and 39 in Lansing. Quiet conditions on our satellite and radar, and that's all thanks to a high pressure system right to our west. And that's going to be providing pretty nice conditions for this weekend and even into the start of the work week. But as we head into the next couple of hours, we'll see maybe just a little bit of some upper level clouds, but I still think it's going to be mostly clear for the day today and into tonight. 55 degrees is going to be our high temperature today, which is right around average for this time of year, and we're going to continue to see beautiful conditions. So if you have any outdoor plans, you might want to head out and look at some fall foliage, as we're getting pretty close, if not past peak, as we're heading into the next couple of days. Currently, we're seeing Lansing Point North we're at peak, and Lansing Point South is at that high color. So again, today we're going to see temperatures into the 50s. Might want to get out and see the fall foliage as we head into the upcoming work week. We do have some windy conditions moving into the forecast. So I think this is going to be our final weekend to see some good color for the week.
I know, I'm bummed about that, but that makes me excited to get out this weekend. We have a lot of great events to tell you about later that are coming up, and so there's a lot of reasons to get outside today and enjoy this last weekend. Right?
Honestly, it's going to be beautiful for this weekend.
Well, perfect. Thank you, Kelsey. And coming up, Israel strikes back in retaliation for Iran launching missiles earlier this month. The time is 8:07. Thanks for watching 6 News this morning.